Okay, so this is going to be a video about academic language and what it means to use academic language in English language arts. So to begin with, basically we start off with a language function, and can be for any area, but for English it's very important to have that purpose or reasoning for using language in a lesson. It takes a look at what we want students to be able to do by the end of the lesson, which for English language arts could be seen in the California Common Core standards. And so for English, it's kind of looking at how we want students to identify, evaluate, compare, or analyze. Just a few examples of what language function could look like. And basically those are through like essays or any type of writing or even discussions taking place within the class. And it's really helpful to have a language function in your lesson plan because it kind of guides you through your lesson plan and what you really want to focus on and have your students doing and learning throughout the lesson. And then we also have language demands, which focus syntax, discourse, and vocabulary. So for syntax, it's kind of the set of conventions for organizing words, phrases, and sentence structures, which is really important in an ELA class, and that kind of would look like a grammar lesson or how to produce a thesis statement, what you need, what kind of sentence structure, commas, and even the phrases and, then, but, and stuff like that being used correctly within a sentence in order to get your point across. And so that would be the form of teaching syntax within your lesson. And discourse is kind of refers to how people within a discipline talk and write. And so this will mostly look like group discussions, what's taking place, what are the students talking about, what type of academic language are they using, which refers to vocabulary. What words are you teaching them to promote academic language? Are they looking at how to infer? And if they are looking at how to infer, how are you teaching them the vocabulary word to infer and what it means and what they should be doing in terms of that word? And it can also look like note-taking for discourse, just because you're teaching them how to write in a certain way when it comes to notes. So notes could be in the form of, if you're looking at different styles of notes, Cornell notes, which are usually used in ELA class, and you're basically summarizing parts of the text, and then on the other side asking questions and or annotating the text and getting to know the text better. And I think that's a really good way to take notes in an English language arts class. That way you're getting a deeper understanding of the reading. And then we also have oral academic language through conversation. So some examples of that are think, pair, share, small groups, answering questions to memorize sentence frames, and these can help facilitate academic conversation in the classroom, and especially when discussing a novel or a poem, and then using the vocabulary from that text within the conversation. And that goes back to teaching vocabulary. Like, what vocabulary words are you actually looking at to teach these students how to use them properly within a sentence or a conversation? And so going off of that, oral academic language through conversation is kind of looking at Zires and Crawford, and how they kind of say that conversations help build critical thinking with thinking skills, and that's something that we really want our students to be able to do overall, especially within an academic setting. So I think that using oral academic language in a conversation is a very useful skill and practice for students to have. But we also need to make sure that students actually care about using academic language, and that we give them that purpose for using it. So making connections to the conversation, the ideas that they are giving to one another being explained effectively, and so forth. And then we also just want students to be able to use their own culture within their conversations to promote their academic language, because that's a very useful tool to have, being able to incorporate yourself within the use of something new for students. And yeah, I think academic language can be used very easily in English language arts, just because there's so many things that you're looking at, as opposed to like novels and poems and even films that are being looked at in an English language arts class to facilitate conversation, but using those words that wouldn't be used in everyday conversation with someone outside of a classroom. And yeah,